The South China Sea, the name itself conjures images not just of azure expanses and vibrant marine life, but also a theater of ancient maritime lore, bustling commerce, and most critically, a nexus of intense geopolitical friction. This is more than a mere body of water, prized for its crucial shipping arteries and rich natural resources. It is a persistent arena for high-stakes strategic maneuvering among world powers, where the boundary between stability and open conflict can be perilously thin. On the morning of April 12th, while much of the globe was still dark, a tense encounter without a single shot fired or war declared played out on the calm seas east of the Spratly Islands. It was a calculated meeting between the United States Navy and Chinese surveillance forces, an event laden with unspoken risks and powerful strategic signals. This standoff, which resulted in no physical harm, provides a stark illustration of the gray zone warfare that is increasingly defining both regional and international security. This is not a simple tale of naval vessels. It is a sophisticated dance of technology, tactics, and national will. As the first light of dawn streaked across the horizon, heralding a new day, the USS Ronald Reagan Carrier Strike Group, a potent symbol of American sea power, was engaged in routine patrols. The ocean surface was placid, but beneath this tranquility, the undercurrents of strategic rivalry were churning. At 5:47 a.m., a time when activity on the ship was just beginning to stir, a peculiar contact materialized on the USS Ronald Reagan's radar. It was at this moment that Lieutenant Davis, the radar officer on watch, sensed an anomaly. He was the first to spot a slow-moving but deliberate target to the northeast, over 90 nautical miles away. Initial analysis from the ANY Spy-6 radar, the most sophisticated AESA system in the American fleet, suggested the target's signature matched that of a Type 815G, a state-of-the-art electronic intelligence ELINT vessel of the Chinese Navy. These ships are often called the giant ears of the sea, engineered for the sole purpose of intercepting and analyzing an adversary's electronic emissions. The vessel maintained complete radio silence, ignored standard maritime hails, and more disturbingly, failed to display a clear national flag. These were all highly irregular actions that breached fundamental maritime protocols. From the Combat Information Center of the USS Reagan, an order was given in a firm, controlled voice. The atmosphere grew taut. An unidentified ship silently approaching an American naval battle group introduced the risk of a tactical miscalculation and unpredictable diplomatic fallout. The entire strike group was elevated to its highest state of alert. All attention was fixed on the radar display, where the mysterious glowing dot crept steadily forward, a phantom gliding over the water. As the gap between them narrowed, the persistent silence from the unknown vessel amplified the pressure. The American command opted for a non-confrontational approach, an effort to communicate and issue a warning in strict compliance with the code for unplanned encounters at sea. At 6:30 a.m., a standard message was sent from the Reagan's bridge across international frequencies. This is a United States Navy aircraft carrier. We are conducting operations in accordance with international law. Please identify yourself and maintain a safe distance. Yet the unidentified ship offered no reply, not a single word, not a flicker of an identification signal. It continued its deliberate approach, probing the patience and resolve of the American commander. This was not merely a flouting of the rules, it was a message. The silence was, in itself, a response, a statement of purpose. The tension in the command center was now thick enough to cut. One small error, a single rash decision, could precipitate a physical collision, an outcome neither side wanted, but for which both had to be prepared. Realizing the opponent's primary goal was intelligence gathering, the U.S. Navy shifted to a different kind of engagement, a battle of electronic signals. At 7:15 a.m., the command was given to implement ECON. This is a complex electronic warfare tactic that involves drastically reducing the ship's own electronic signature. The main radar was shifted to a passive mode, and all communication systems were heavily encrypted. The aircraft carrier, normally a massive source of electronic emissions, effectively donned a cloak of electronic invisibility, striving to become as silent as its pursuer. Simultaneously, the electronic support measure systems aboard the USS Reagan and its escort ships were brought to full power. In this moment, the U.S. reversed the roles, becoming the hunter. They began to scoop up the Chinese ships' radar signals, breaking down their frequencies and power levels to build a detailed picture of its electronic capabilities. The Chinese vessel's mission was now perfectly clear. It was mapping radar frequencies and documenting the carrier's operational patterns. This was a methodical intelligence-gathering mission, a dedicated effort to understand the electronic blueprint of the American strike group. To achieve a more dominant situational awareness, the U.S. Navy played its trump card. At 8:03 a.m., a powerful roar reverberated across the deck as an E-2D Hawkeye launched from the USS Reagan. With its iconic, massive rotating radar dome, this airborne early warning aircraft instantly cast a surveillance net over the entire area, pushing the strike group's sensory reach out beyond 350 nautical miles. The Hawkeye is more than a flying radar. It serves as an airborne command and control hub. Instantly, data streaming from the Hawkeye validated the initial assessment and unveiled a far broader strategy at play. The aircraft detected two additional Type 056A corvettes on a parallel course, approximately 120 nautical miles to the north. These are light, agile frigates frequently used by China for surveillance and patrol duties. This discovery fundamentally changed the understanding of the situation. It was no longer a lone spy ship, but a coordinated, multi-layered surveillance network deployed to box in and collect intelligence on the U.S. carrier group. This pointed to meticulous planning and a clear strategic objective from the Chinese military. The strength of the U.S. Navy is rooted not only in its technological superiority, but also in its deep network of alliances. Confronted with a charged situation, coordinating with partners became essential. The USS Reagan swiftly opened tactical data links with two allied vessels in the region, the BRP Antonio Luna of the Philippine Navy and the French frigate Vendémiaire. While smaller, their participation carried immense political and strategic significance, showcasing a unified commitment to upholding international law. The three naval forces quickly synchronized their CUES protocols and divided responsibilities. The French vessel assumed the lead in communication efforts, while the Philippine ship monitored the rear of the U.S. formation. Throughout this, the American strike group maintained its course and speed, projecting confidence and its unwavering commitment to freedom of navigation. This coordinated action not only boosted collective situational awareness, but also broadcast a powerful message to Beijing. The United States does not operate in isolation. The collected electronic data was relayed to the Tactical Intelligence Center for exhaustive analysis. The results offered a sobering look into the Chinese reconnaissance ship's advanced systems. It was equipped with new antenna arrays, capable of intercepting a wider and more sensitive range of signals. Analysts also identified previously unknown encrypted waveforms, signaling that China is relentlessly advancing its electronic warfare technology. More alarmingly, the vessel showed it had a capability for short-range electronic jamming, although this weapon was not used during the encounter. The final analysis led to a stark conclusion. This could be a live-fire test for indirect warfare tactics, or a signal that China is actively training for real-world conflict scenarios. This implied China was not merely observing, it was actively testing and refining its newest electronic combat systems in a live environment, a clear demonstration of its growing capabilities and confidence. History provides harsh lessons, and in the military domain, learning from past encounters is vital. The U.S. Navy has not forgotten previous close calls, particularly the infamous 2018 incident involving the USS Decatur. In that event, the American